Good afternoon. Welcome to ZTN News Blitz. Our top stories. Zim companies in a fix over workers' COVID-19 testing. COVID-19 shaves off Zim barbers' income. Tanzania to import Madagascar's COVID-19 cure. And in sports, Zim basketball star joins US Academy. Zimbabwean employers say discussions were not done prior to passing on of COVID-19 testing to companies. Currently, some employers are struggling to pay salaries due to the 5-week lockdown which entered phase 1 today. Employers Confederation of Zimbabwe President Dr. Israel Murefu says this is an added cost to employers.
I think, it's one of those things which we thought maybe consultation would have been important, because a lot of people are running around to find out the cost and also find out who can assist them and also how frequent the tests are required and so forth. So we are in a bit of a quandary now, but we have to be seen to be complying with the regulations. So we are looking for quotations for people that could test. Various companies are looking for quotations. And I think depending on the quotations given, one will then be able to say whether it's affordable or not affordable.
Following President Mnangagwa's announcement that government will avail an 18 billion Zimbabwe dollars economic rescue package on Friday, the question is, how will the package be funded? Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce ZNCC Chief Executive Christopher Mgaga says there are many ways of doing this without printing money.
So the 18 billion can be a case of the tax reprieve measures, which will cost the government 18 billion, while its business is benefiting, which therefore means it's not necessarily printing. Or they can go into the market. I think it's seen how it had been happening, especially the European Union with the Corona bond, which the bigger economies like Germany had been very fiercely opposed to. But obviously the success of a bond in this market might be something which is not a walk in the park, given the dynamics of the economy, and the takers might not necessarily be as easily available as you can see with developed and stable economies like what we can see in Europe.
He added that the package is exactly what is needed to kickstart the economy.
What is enough to cushion the Zimbabwean private sector industry in particular, it's not necessarily the monetary figure. It's more of the policy environment. There is no other substitute for the policy environment. If it is to be stable, any unstable policy environment like we have been against it for quite some time now is a serious tax which will not even be compensated for by the 18 billion or any other figure, no matter how staggering it is to the eyes of the public.
The Zimbabwe Stock Exchange Limited says it will be donating levy proceeds towards the country's COVID-19 response. The bourse's chief executive, Justice Bwoni, told ZTN that all proceeds collected from trades executed from 24th to the 30th of April will be channeled towards the pandemic.
COVID-19 has been declared a national disaster. As Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, we join the nation in raising funds to stop the spread of the pandemic. When people trade on our platform, we collect a levy. All the levies collected between the 24th and 30th of April will be donated to the Ministry of Health and Child Care to fight the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. We urge all capital market players and investing public to join us in this fundraising. We are glad that some of our brokers, like Morgan & Company, are joining us as well.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has frozen close to 100 mobile money accounts belonging to various entities suspected of involvement in illicit foreign currency transactions as well as also money laundering. Now, in a letter dated May the 1st, 2020, addressed to all banks, the Central Bank's Financial Intelligence Unit instructed that the accounts were to be frozen with immediate effect. Our correspondent Ndaka Majaka gives us more.
Suspected currency exchange manipulators had a rude awakening last week as the central bank's financial intelligence unit moved to clamp in on over 100 accounts belonging to these alleged suspects. The central bank strongly believes that these culprits are behind a volatile exchange rate currently being experienced in Zimbabwe. As of this morning, the market did not have an obtaining parallel market rate as most players were holding on to their funds. We come back to you in the studio.
Meanwhile, the RBZ has lowered its key policy rate for the second time since the COVID-19 outbreak. It is meant to provide monetary stimulus as the coronavirus will have a negative impact on the country's economy. According to the latest MPC deliberations, the central bank will, effective May the 1st, cut its refinancing rate by 10% points to 15% from 25%. It added that it expects banks to do the same. The COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted many livelihoods. Self-employed Zimbabweans like Edward Gonzo, a barber in Chitungwiza, a town 26 kilometers south of the capital, Harare, are amongst those that are hardest hit. The past month has been a rough ride for Edward and his breed. The next fortnight might even be bumpier. The lockdown has forced Edward to close shop, but he needs to put food on the table. So he now does house calls, attending to clients at their homes in his neighborhood. But often the phone calls are few and far between. Before the lockdown, Edward says he used to attend to an average of 15 clients a day, charging $2 for a haircut and a shave. But now he will be lucky to get just 3 clients a day. ZTN caught up with Edward at one of his clients' homes on Sunday.
One of my customers I want is because no they do taungugira varumdzimba taigiro pataipo hash ndo kuchifonera tichivagirira mudzimba so ukataridza kuti pamwe unogona wakapa vanhu 5 or 10 pa10 unogona wana 3 vamwe vanogona kusakutokubata parunhare pacho so ikozinozi pakaipa.
Crisis brings the best of men, and as the Greek philosopher Aristotle once said, there's always an opportunity with crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic is no different. It is bringing the best out of mankind as entrepreneurs too are seizing a chance. A Zimbabwean firm based Esaja Africa Services has designed and built a walk-through full-body disinfecting tunnel that is suitable for use at entrances of busy public places such as hospitals, clinics, bus termini, government offices and factory premises. ZTN's Wilson Kakurira caught up with the Esaja Africa Services team while they were showcasing their product at a mall in Harare.
This is basically a disinfection tunnel. It's a trend that's taken hold across the world. As we work to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, what we're saying is we need smarter solutions to fighting this scourge. This disinfection tunnel sprays a granular misting solution, a disinfectant that is safe for human beings. And what we're saying is you're getting full cover, full body coverage of sanitizer or disinfection across board.
This thing works with very little human intervention, as little as possible. So what you're seeing there is a pipework and some mister bodies that simply spray the mist. But it's automated from a gadget behind. And this thing can actually be very useful even in a banking setup. If you check how you go into a bank tunnel, you open the door, you close it in. Maybe for 2-3 seconds you are in before the other entrance opens for you. So we even thinking of developing it to such an extent that we can use it even in a bank setup to mystify the people before they go into the bank, and then it's safe for everyone who is inside the banking hall.
Wearing masks in public places is now a legal requirement in Zimbabwe starting today. Anyone who fails to comply with these new public health regulations faces arrest. But how have Zimbabweans received the latest regulations? A survey by ZTN showed that most people are complying, wearing masks of different shapes and sizes, some strange even. We spoke to some who had this to say.
If the masks are going to prevent people from getting exposed, then so be it. But the problem now is how many of us are going to afford to buy masks to wear every day?
A decision here inenge iri right, but panoda more precaution panyaya manhiri yekuti zvingova zvinosanitizwa kana kushandisa mishonga zvekuti zvakasiyana-siyana, kasi decision is very good.
Tanzania's President John Magufuli is sending a plane to Madagascar to fetch a herbal tonic touted as a cure for COVID-19, even as the World Health Organization WHO warned there was no proof of any cure. Congo-Brazzaville's president has also promised to import the drink. It is produced from the Artemisia plant, the source of an ingredient used in malaria treatment. Churches across Germany are holding services for the first time in 6 weeks as the country begins to ease coronavirus restrictions. Members of the congregation must wear masks, stay apart, and no singing is permitted. Many German churches reopened on Sunday morning after most remained closed for more than a month in an effort to curb the spread of the coronavirus. President Donald Trump has kicked off his bid for the presidency in 2020 with many well-worn attacks on the media, Hillary Clinton and the angry Democrats. An adoring crowd packed the Enway building in Orlando, Florida, chanting the same slogans from 2016, such as "Drain the Swamp" and "Lock her up." Taking a look at sports action, rising Zimbabwe basketball star Melissa Mwanza has encouraged Rising Zimbabwean basketball star Melissa Mwanza has encouraged more girls to take up sport. The girls' high school student recently got a scholarship from Putnam Science Academy in the U.S. Mwanza was scouted at the Junior NBA World Championships in 2018. This was the inaugural global youth basketball tournament for the top girls and boys teams aged 14 and under from around the world. She speaks to ZTN.
Those talented in sport must be confident and believe in themselves. Girls should not see any difference between males and females when it comes to talent and type of sport. On the other hand, I would advise my fellow females to balance our passion in sport with passion in academics. To go basketball in Zimbabwe, we should start by empowering young people in the sport. Also, resources should be made available even in the high-density schools.
Another international calendar change comes as the 2021 World Championships for swimming, the FINA World Championships in Japan, will now take place a year later in May 2022. The change comes amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, which continues to disrupt the international sporting calendar. FINA made the decision after speaking with the involved parties, TV sponsors, the city of Fukuoka, the Japanese Swimming Federation, organizing committees, athletes, and as well as coaches. And the postponement of the Olympic Games to the next year has caused a lot of events to be pushed back as they would otherwise clash with the Games. Other recent events changed include the 2020 European Aquatics Championships, the 2021 Commonwealth Youth Games, and the cancellation of all 2020 European Junior Aquatics Championships. On to Formula One. Former Formula One team boss Eddie Jordan believes Lewis Hamilton is on his way to Ferrari to replace Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton has long been linked to Ferrari, with reports in 2017 claiming a move was only an announcement away, but it did not happen after Vettel re-signed and committed to Italian stable until the end of 2020. At the time, Hamilton responded to news of Vettel's new deal by telling the world that the dream was over. Now, with the German's place at Ferrari once again uncertain, with his contract up at the end of this year, Hamilton could be the man Ferrari will turn to. That's all we have for you on ZTN News Blitz today. It was an absolute pleasure hosting you. For more news, you can visit our website ztn.co.zw and our other social media platforms. Thanks for watching.